You saw some big names in that little package before we went to the break here on Racing to Win. It's time to analyse the Jockey Club Cup over the 2,000 metres. At the top of the book, we have got Exultant, reigning horse of the year. Second 2 years ago, he was a winner of this race last year. Time Warp the 2, first run for the season. He's had 2 trials, but was scratched on November 1, so he did miss a start. Furore, fresh off his win in the Sasa Ladies' Purse. He was the runner-up last year to Exultant. Ho Ho Khan ran on well at the end of the Ladies' Purse and gets an extra 200 metres. Playa del Puente, the shadow roll, goes straight back on after going without it last time. In the Ladies' Purse, or rather the race behind Golden 60, Columbus County returns to 2,000 metres for the first time since the Derby. Vincent Ho rides for Casper Founds and Singapore Sling with Antoine Hemlin and Tony Millard round out the field. They are the starters, Les Graham, so we've walked across to the speed map now, and this is how we think it's going to potentially play out. Yeah, Time Warp is always a key horse where Exultant is concerned, and Zach Purton will be very aware of what gallop Time Warp goes. Exultant's drawn out wide. I think Zach will use up some fuel early on to try and get a handy position. Playa del Puente likely to chase along with Schifano. As regards the hold-up horses, I think they pick themselves. Joel be patient on Furore. Ho Ho Khan just doesn't have the early pace to be handy in a race like this. And Columbus County showed a really good turn of foot last time, so a good gallop would suit him. It could be slightly messy. The key horse tactically, again, is Time Warp.
Here is Exultant. I thought we'd show him. He's a pretty fit horse. He's done plenty of work, this horse. He's had that run now behind Furore. Meets him better here condition-wise, and he looks good. He looks ready to go. 2,000 metres looks perfect for him as well. And here is his Furore, his stablemate. He goes nicely enough here in his work as well. He does meet worse off of the weights with Exultant, but look, he travels nicely. He showed a really good turn of foot last start, so it was a good piece from him. And the little chap here, Ho Ho Khan, he's having a decent gallop down the front straight. 2,000 might be a little bit short for him. He likes it a little bit longer, but look, he does it nicely under a hold as well. He's up to 2,000 metres, is Exultant. There's only one man you want to talk to if you're talking about the likely favourite for this race, and it is his rider, Zach Purton.
I thought his run was good. It was for a race that on paper looked like it had no speed in it. Everyone had the same idea. They all wanted to be handier than they normally would be, and that injected more speed in the race for the first half mile than what was necessary. And all those horses that were up there, except my bloke, fell in a hole, and the horse out the back with a lighter weight that did no work early and had a suck run was able to get over the top of us. My bloke was first up. He would have taken benefit from that run, and hopefully he's just taken that next step. He is an older horse, so sometimes they can take a little bit longer to come to hand. But I thought his run was good, and I'm looking forward to riding him again. So can he beat Furore this time? I've drawn a tricky gate, the widest gate here, and it's the worst start on the track. It's the outside gates of the story of my season so far. It's a bit of a running joke. They've got Zach Purton written on them, haven't they? It's a bit of a running joke amongst the barrier boys at the moment that they just leave my horses to the outside gates because that's where they're all drawn. And it's been frustrating because it makes it hard. You've got to do that extra little bit of work to get a position, and it's going to be the same here. I either go back, and if he's slow out of the gates, which he can be sometimes, and I've got some work to do, or he jumps well and I've got to go forward and people kick up and make it hard for me. So, like last time, you do that extra bit of work and you're found wanting, and you know what, that's just the scenario that we're faced with. And, for me, as long as he runs well and he shows that he's taking the necessary steps, then I'll be happy. And when you look at the race too, apart from Time Warp, there doesn't look to be a lot of pace on paper in the race. If you were to go back, you've made mid-race moves on him before. Could that be a possibility, or do you not want to give him a gut buster heading into the international meeting? No, I'll ride him to win, which I always do. And if the way the race has been run tells me that I need to take off, then I'll take off. B+2, Graham, this week, so the rail's out a long way with that short run into the first turn for him. My guess would be that Zach will make a move early. I don't think there'll be too many horses to pressure him if he does come from outside to win, to get into second, third or fourth position. And this horse is, I still think he's undervalued by many people. He's Hong Kong's Horse of the Year, for goodness sake, but all the
publicity a year or two ago for Beauty Generation. Now it's for Golden 60. This horse wins big races and plenty of them. He beat Furore fair and square in this race last season. Now Furore did blossom last time. It was Joe Moreira for the first time, and that may have been key. Paul touched on the turn of foot he showed. He did, 22.2. But it's a different race, a slightly longer trip, and it's second time out now for Exultant. He should be approaching peak condition. I think he's going to be really hard to beat. Yeah,
I agree. I think he can turn the tables here. I think they're the two main chances that Furore can live up to that, what he ran last time, but I do like Exultant to overturn him.
He's come up 1.5 Exultant. Some of his opposition include the following horses, and we're going to start, Paul, with Columbus County, going back to Happy Valley. Now, he did run in the Derby over 2,000 metres last year, didn't run out a strong 2,000 in that, but he's run over 1,800 at Happy Valley, was very good.
It was, wasn't it? And look, I don't think 2,000 is going to be a problem for him. I mean, he's obviously in a really good race here, but he's found form. He's finally settled in here in Hong Kong. He's won his last two races, albeit one at the back end of last season. Come out and won this race. Look, I don't think he's going to trouble the top two, but I'll put him on a very minor line.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's got definite place contenders. He's definitely improving. How about this trial with Time Warp at the head of the parade, Paul?
Yeah, nice trial, wasn't it, from Time Warp? But we know what Time Warp's like. He's very hit or miss. He's got to have his own way. He's got to boss people in front. There was no pressure on him, and he won the trial nicely. But it's going to be different on race day. I think Exultant will be quite close to him, and he's going to keep a close eye on him.
Golden 60, the horse charging up the outside there. Time Warp is the hardest horse to predict in Grade 1 company in the world. He can win them, he can bomb out. He's been disappointing in both the last two renewals of this race. He's had some injury problems, not for me.
He goes straight to 2,000 metres for the first time since May, with just those two trials behind him as well. Time Warp. Graham Player Del Puente, of course, runner-up to Golden 60 in the Derby. He's back to 2,000 metres.
Yeah, if he's right, I'm wrong, I'm afraid. His Derby performance stands out like a beacon as his best, given a very daring, dashing ride that day. But he hasn't gone on since, and this trial didn't fill me with confidence that he's ready to bounce back, Paul.
No, me either. He's drawn 8 as well, so it'll be interesting to see what they do from him, because he obviously did those tactics and ended up leading in the Derby. But from barrier 8, I think they'll probably go back.
Exultant to win it again, Paul?
Yeah, I think Exultant's everything points for Exultant. He's had that run now, so he's on top. Furore in there for second. I think he's going to turn the tables on him. Now, Dancing with Dragon ran third behind them last time. I thought it was a nice run from him. Casper Founds has got this horse going very well, and he should get a nice quiet run from barrier number 2. And then the improver, Columbus County. So you can see Casper's horse is running third and fourth here, but I think it's between the 1 and 3.
Yeah, very similar reading from this quarter. Exultant, get it done just like you did last year from Furore on the same weight terms. If you like recent form, you could go with Furore. If you like overall profiles, Exultant, I think, is 6-1 ahead of Furore in the overall head-to-heads. I like Columbus County because I'm pretty convinced that he's still improving. I have him for third, and Dances with Dragon, who just had to wait for a run and came the long way around last time. I think we might be onto the right numbers here. 1, 3, 8 and 6. Try for the quartet with Exultant as the banker and 3, 6 and 8 in behind.
So Exultant for Paul and Exultant for Graham. Speaking of Graham, he joined Andrew Lejeune and Ed Sadler on Hong Kong Direct this week. Special feature too with Ed and Joe Moreira leading into this week. Joe will partner Furore in the third of the Group 2s. You'll find that at hkjc.com. Click onto the multimedia showcase. Well worth checking out Hong Kong Direct. Off to a break here on Racing to Win. 3 races to look at right after this.